Thank you for joining me today on Coffee With. I have, I believe, my most frequent guest with me today, Bill Lauderdale, the president of
Warren County Board of Supervisors.
Warren County Board of Supervisors. I know what you do, but
Well,
then when I have to spit it out, I can't.
There's different names for us around the country, and I think that lends to some confusion with people. We're called commissioners in some areas, judges, police jurors right across the Mississippi River. So
right, that's what it's called where I grew up, is the police jury.
Right.
Of course, I never knew what that was, but you know.
Well, it's the elected official for the county.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about something that was in the newspaper very recently, and that is the jail, because there's been so much discussion about this. I know y'all had a meeting. I don't know if you can talk about it or not. Can you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me what you know.
What we've been doing, and strictly, I mean, there's no doubt that our jail is old, it's antiquated, it doesn't meet state standards. We can't house state prisoners. Not real sure if I want to do that anyway, but that's up to the board. We're exploring all avenues on the jail. We're trying our best to see how we can get a better facility, but yet have the least amount of cost to the taxpayer, especially our business and industries. They're going to be the ones that pick up the big tab on a bond issue of this magnitude. And right now, I don't think our business and industries need to have any other burdens on them if they don't have to. So we're trying real hard to see what we can do to get a facility. One way we looked at and met with Monday at our board meeting, our informal board meeting that we had Chris Epps, who is he is the director of all the corrections in Mississippi. And we had George Flaggs, who's the chairman of that committee in the legislature. Both of them were in talking with us, and on the concept of a regional jail here in Warren County, where we would be housing state inmates that have already been convicted. There would not be any real bad ones. The murderers and all that wouldn't be housed in this kind of facility. Essequibo County's got one. There's, I think, 15 counties in the state that have regional jails already. It can be a savings to the county. But there are, of course, like anything else, you got some positives, you got some negatives. We're looking at all that. They left us a contract that they had with Washington County, I believe it was, and we're going to be reviewing that just to see the nuts and bolts of exactly what they want, what they expect of us, what we're going to have to put out on as far as money and labor. So that's one area that we hadn't explored yet that we're starting to now.
So if we were to put a jail in, where would it be? Is that part of the decision-making process?
Exactly, and that's, of course, that would be one of the first things we'd have to identify and try to pin down, would be that location. And according to the law right now, it has to be in your county seat. The county jail has got to be in the county seat, which would be inside the city of Vicksburg.
Oh, it has to be in the city limits?
It does, but if the city and the county boards would agree on another location outside, that it would be better for whatever reasons to have it on outside, then the legislature will approve it if our local officials are in agreement to do so.
Am I confused, or was there some discussion about maybe putting it out around Flowers?
Well, the county owns, I think that's like a 900-something acre tract out there where Ceres is located, our industrial park. So naturally, the cost of land, is a big consideration. We already own that, although it is dedicated for economic development. All that would have to be worked out between us, the Port Commission, and the city, if that seems to be the reasonable place to put it. We also, there's been some talk. There's also a spec building out there that was built to attract industries, and it's still a good magnet to use to get people to come look at our facilities here. you know, and the possibility of already having a structure up there could save a good bit of money too. So those things we're going to be looking at in the future and trying to make a decision on what to do.
And would that be funded by a bond issue?
It would have to be, unless something great comes down from heaven for us. It's more than likely going to have to be funded by a bond issue. Now, we did meet with a bond counsel yesterday to talk to us about a lease purchase that you can do. It's another process to go through that you wouldn't actually do bonds, and it's got its pluses and minuses too, but it's something that we'll be looking at and considering in the future when we have to make a decision on this.
It's just a hard time to make a decision about that because it will affect, like you said, it will affect the business owners as well. And at a time when we're all looking at possibly a minimum wage hike and then something like that, of course, you know, I look at it on one hand and think we really need it. And it would perhaps create a few jobs. I don't know what it would be in terms of what we already have.
Yeah.
But it would create some jobs and possibly generate revenue if we did house state prisoners.
The regional jail, that's one of the pluses on it, would be the creation of jobs. Most of them would hopefully come from our county or the surrounding areas that actually spend money in our county, which would be a positive. And more vendors, businesses here would be able to have supplies going out there. So it can have a positive economic effect in that sense. But we just need to make sure that the labor and all that it would take to is not going to affect the property taxpayers as far as that operation expense. That's what we have to be careful of. So, and that's what we're concerned with also. But we're going to look at all that, and that's why we're moving slow. We've taken a little flack for being so slow, but with the economy still, it's not stagnant. It has been going up a little bit, and then it'll kind of go slower. But with it not growing any more than it has, we feel that it's very important that we not jump into anything that we don't have to right now and spend a lot of taxpayers' money. So.
Yes, we could end up regretting that.
Right.
If we do it.
Right.
It's wise to do it judiciously.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
let's you want to let go from talking about jail to talking about. Now I know you're not my supervisor. You're not. But I have a problem out in my district that I think we have everywhere. And that is that I have a property full of white-tailed deer that are eating everything in sight. And I would like to be able to shoot, well, maybe not shoot them myself, but have somebody shoot them. And I thought, well, as long as it's already dead, I could just go ahead and have it.
That's some good lean protein. Maybe.
Am I allowed to do that?
Out in the county, you can, it's not restricted. You can shoot a firearm out in the county, but of course you also have to be aware of safety, and that's one thing. Or you're in a subdivision, we've got plenty of subdivisions out in counties, and a lot of them are experiencing problems with the white-tailed deer, and they are eating everything in sight. You can't hardly keep a plant or anything.
They are eating everything. Now, I've never had them eat rose bushes before with thorns, and when I left my house this morning, I saw that my beautiful rose bush is now a rose stick.
Wow.
They're pretty when I step outside my back door, but then when my roses are gone, I'm over that.
Yeah, they are getting overpopulated. Fish and Wildlife, Department of Fish and Wildlife with the state is, realizes that we have got a good population of white-tailed deer, and they have made the seasons for the hunters extended it. They've done some things to make it easier on people and hopefully to get more people to hunt and harvest the deer. I think that's a good indication that the harvest has been pretty good, especially this year as the processors here, I don't know if you read in the paper, but they were actually not taking anything because they were so busy. And so I think that's a good indication that people are harvesting deer and making good use of that good lean meat that that's available.
Do we have to have some kind of special permit at this point because hunting season is over?
Yeah, I'd suggest that anybody with a problem that needs to alleviate any game animal, that they would contact the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, and we've got some local enforcement agents around here in the vicinity that would be glad to come out, I know, and get with landowners and property owners on what they can and can't do and how to do it if they can.
Okay.
They're real helpful. I've really enjoyed the relationship with Department of Fish and Wildlife over the years, not only with the enforcement part, but also with like our boat landings, and we're in joint contracts with them on providing recreation in the county too.
Well, we've gone from jail to deer, so I guess that about wraps it up. We appreciate everything y'all do and the great leadership and some of the tough decisions y'all have to make, and I thank you so much for being here today, and I know you'll be back.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're my most frequent guest, so you have to come back.
Good, that's good. I enjoyed it, and I just want to let the public know that your Board of Supervisors is always there. We're just a phone call away, a text away, an email away from contacting us. So if you got a question on basically anything in the county, just give us a call or a text or an email.
Yeah, you can actually go online and send an email directly to you.
Yeah, we've got a website, tells you all about Warren County, who the officials are, and so we're trying to stay up with the rest of the world.
Well, thanks again, Bill. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.